Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
You know, I had a guy yesterday, thankfully, I'll say it was yesterday, who told me that he hoped I died soon.
Yeah?
Was he worried you were in pain? Like, was this an act of
No, he
compassion?
called me.
I'll
It
make
was
it
one of
swift.
those.
No pain.
It was one of those things. You know, I have a Cleveland number because I keep it old school. So I have a Cleveland number. So anytime I get a call from a Cleveland number, you know, my entire family has moved out of Ohio, mass exodus. So, you know, I now know if I get a number from a call from a 216 area code, I know it's a scam because they do that like weird, like they think like, oh, it must be my neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I answered it and I know it's a scam. And it was telling me that like it was from the Social Security office. And they had put my Social Security number, I don't know, I was in dangerous breach of something or other.
Oh, no.
And the guy asked how my day was going. And yesterday was horrible. It was a horrible day for me. I had my car battery
Big
die on
mistake.
me 5 times. Yeah, and so I told him, I said, it's a terrible day. It's a terrible day. And he goes, it's a terrible day. And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, are you dying today? And I said, well, it's only 10:45 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does anybody really know if you're dying today? I mean, outside of some people in history
some
did
people
know.
might,
Yes,
yeah.
some
Yeah.
people in history may have known that. You know, if you're slated for the guillotine on,
Yeah.
you know, Wednesday or whatever. Yeah, I suppose. But
Socrates.
Sure. But, you know, I said, I don't know. Do you know you're dying today? I mean, do you know if you're dying today? And he goes, well, I hope you die soon. And he hung up.
Wow. Nice.
And you know what I did? As crappy as my day was yesterday, and I had some close calls. I swear to God. I was working on my car, like the battery died and the hood almost collapsed on my head. I had some close calls, but God damn it, I lived.
There you go.
I lived. I
That's
lived in
beautiful.
spite of
Take
this
that random
scammy
Cleveland
guy.
scammer.
Yeah, I did. I was like, no matter what, I'm going to persevere at least till 12:01 a.m.
That guy's not winning today.
Exactly. I'm living. That's what's happening today. Living. And the best
There you
part
go.
is I know they're going to call me again and
Mhm.
I'm going to have an answer because I'm going to answer. I'm going to say, yeah, I answered because I'm alive.
That's a heck of a sales pitch they have, though, every day.
Yeah. Since you're not buying
So-
our stuff, since you're not into our wares, we hope you die soon. And cross you off the list. I don't have to
It
call
was
you back tomorrow.
memorable.
Wow. You sure do attract him, Jerry.
You know what? One of the I love so many things about Jerry. There are too many to enumerate, but one of the things I love most is how he is always willing to engage with telemarketers,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he always has the best time of his life doing it, and
I
we
know.
all have the best time of our lives hearing about it. I love
It
that.
happened when you were on the Gremlins Mogwai Minute, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I think it did.
Yeah.
The telemarketer called me. It's
Like, no, I don't want to buy any tires, but you don't. I'm on the Mogwai Minute right now. Have you heard of it? It's got they're talking about Gremlins 1 minute at a time.
It's that I'm on the massive scam list. So I actually got 3 calls yesterday. And the other person who called, it wasn't Social Security. It was a thing with like Microsoft and I need to upgrade and insure my computer. And I just answered the phone and just started singing Madonna's Ray of Light. But kind of in a croonery way. It was just like, and I feel like I just got home. And I just did, you know,
Yeah.
eventually they go, and I feel. It's kind of like, it's a little creepy, but nice too.
Yeah.
Wait, they sang with you?
No, I don't know what happened. I just answered the phone
no.
singing Madonna's "Ray of Light."
I thought you said eventually they started singing too. Oh.
They may have. I mean, I didn't. You know.
I love like thinking the whole call center is singing it by the end.
Yeah. Hey, I was going to scam this guy, but he's singing to me.
Listen.
Now, you know when you answer the phone though that it's going to be some telemarketer or some scam or something.
Yeah,
So
it'll be.
See, one of my greatest joys in life is not answering the telephone. Like I see the I have my Connecticut number still. I'm old school too, and every time I get like a random 203 number, I'm like I'm not going to answer it. Like it's either going to be like for somebody who's not me, or it's going to be a scam or whatever, and I'd rather just keep doing what I'm doing. I love not answering the phone. It's fantastic. My dad is unable to not answer the phone, and I think he was always that way my entire life. So I think just not answering the phone, like, oh, someone's trying to get in touch with me. That's okay with me. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm not.
See, I would know you as no differently because neither one of you chumps answers the phone when I call.
Yeah. You're my
you
one
also
of my
call
favorite
it
people.
like,
you're my friend. And
yeah,
I see the phone. I'm like,
too.
oh my God, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. Like stop everything and just hold a phone to my head and talk to my friend for a few hours.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
I love it though. Like when I do pick up the phone when Jerry calls, like you pick up the phone and you just hear like he's like a Sharkies or he's like eating something.
Yeah.
That's a good question though, because I'm pretty much a phone answerer.
Yeah, you are 100% a phone answerer.
For the most part, a phone answerer.
Jackass. Which
I know it's unless I have you in my phone as don't answer, hate Glenn.
Yeah. I would like to say though, I'm proud that I have an over 50% answer rate with you, Jerry.
Is that what it is?
Good.
See, I didn't know.
Yeah, I make sure that
50%.
at least over 50% of the time I answer the phone when you call.
That's nice.
That's high.
It is. I don't do that for anybody else.
I don't think you call me that often anymore.
No, I stopped.
Yeah, you learned your lesson.
Yeah, I was sobbing
If I
into
could
your
just train everybody
voicemail.
else like I've trained you, I'd be a happy man.
Tommy, call me back.
It's really important.
Where are you?
I love you.
Look, I know you're
I just
busy.
wanted to say I love you.
Just 2 minutes. Like, oh my God, you did a podcast last night. What could it be?
Yeah, we're like, oh my God, didn't we cover everything? We covered the whole minute. Drop it. oh yeah, podcast. We're doing a podcast right now, actually. That's weird.
Oh,
this is Anything Goes. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
This is me, Tom. Over there is Pete. Say hi, Pete.
Hey.
There's Jerry over
I'm
there.
going to answer.
Hello.
Oh yeah, don't answer. No. There's some guy. We don't know who it is. Some 203 number.
I hope you all live a long time.
Yes. We hope you live long and healthy lives, at least through the end of this episode, so you can enjoy it. We're going to talk about Star Wars some more.
A Star Trek reference there too. I appreciate that.
Wait, did
restraint.
Oh yeah, no, I did. Do you know that I worked that into my wedding vows, and only one nerd friend even noticed?
You said live long and prosper in your wedding vows.
I said something so we could live a long and prosperous life together, or something like that.
Way to seal the wedding night.
I know, yeah. Jody's like, oh my God, no. It's way too late, isn't it? I can't, everybody's here. Everyone's looking at us. It's like, it's happening right now. Forget it. All right, I'll make it work. It's okay.
It sucks because that came after that. Does anyone know a reason why you shouldn't say? Yeah.
You will. Just wait for it. But this is Anything Goes. And after we thank all of our beautiful patrons over here, we're going to get back into our discussion of Star Wars, the motion picture from 1977. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really enjoying talking about Star Wars. It's a nice, cool drink of water.
Yeah.
Oh, and I would like to, I got a very nice message from Frank, and he pointed out that often these things I'm saying about what's in the script, I'm using a fake script. So.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
Like
Wait,
a scam?
what things have you said? Oh, wow.
And then he said, yeah, I hope you die soon. No. He
Frank, come on.
So it's the script I've been using is a conversation taken from the Art of Star Wars, and it appears to have been unique to that book and was never actually a production screenplay.
Huh.
So I'll talk about
weird.
this more next time we record an episode. But
Yeah.
thank you, Frank. This was actually fantastic, and
Yeah.
but I would like to put in a correction there.
I have now. So you're making me doubt my. I have a. My friend Mark Heidemann, who's on the show, like in the mid '80s, we found out that oh my gosh, there's this place you could write to and buy screenplays, like printed screenplays for like all your favorite movies. We got like Star Wars and Creepshow and Blue Velvet and all these random movies. And yeah, so I have this like this bound. Not even bound. It's just like a manila cover with like the kind of push pin things that you are holding it together. And it's this cool screenplay, and I think it is legit. That's a real one. Yeah, don't freak me out. That's good.
It's hard to know, and I've gotten very, very lazy with my researching. So
wow, I'm trying to think of what you said that you said was in.
I think I talked about like the Java scene. Is that today or was that last week?
God, who knows? Let me see.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look at a little chart. You'll see.
I bet it's today. Actually, I'm going to say some stuff that's wrong. Yeah, disregard it.
Okay. Forget it. I don't know. It sounded like all your stuff was accurate. Anyway, who knows?
Yeah.
We're doing okay. We're doing the best we can, everybody.
Yeah. Are we, Tom?
Well, I don't know. we'll let the listeners decide if we're doing our best. But we want to thank all the beautiful people who are supporting us over at patreon.com/Indiana Jones Minute. And if you want to be one of these people and have us read your name and talk about you for a minute or two, you could go over there too and support the show at whatever level you are comfortable with. You can get postcards from the three of us. You can get early access to these and all of our shows, stuff like that. That's awesome.
Is that also a bad marketing pitch? Like, give us money and we'll talk about you on this show.
No, that's a great marketing pitch.
Or is that a great marketing pitch? Yeah.
I guess it could be great. Well, yeah, I mean, people.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your personality.
Yeah, everybody likes hearing their name.
Well, not if you're paranoid.
We'll make you a star.
True.
Well, then, then you just don't support at that level,
Yeah.
Although I guess some people...
At any level, you're going to get... Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, my God, what have we done? Well, then we want to apologize to all these nice people. We want to apologize to 2-1 Beckett.
Hey.
We also want to thank him. And we want to thank Andrew with 2 A's and Temba, their arms open. That's beautiful. We also want to thank Airport Says Indiana Jones and Star Wars Minutes on the Best Minutes podcast. That's true. This past week, we were just on the Best Minutes podcast talking about the best years of our lives. And this coming week, right after you listen to this, you'll hear well, it's not technically the Star Wars Minute. I think it's, I should know this. It's Pete the Retailer from Star Wars Minute and John Engel from Alien Minute.
And they'll be doing all-star crew. Yeah,
it is.
Oh, yeah. I would like to point out something from when we our minutes last week. Jerry, I think you will especially appreciate this. Jim O'Kane pointed out another error I made, but this one's pretty cool. Like I was talking about how much I love that the, Anytown, USA, whatever, Boone City or wherever they are is so obviously LA. But apparently that scene when they're flying over in the beginning in their airplane and looking out of the cockpit.
Yeah.
Or not, or out of whatever the bombardier window. That's Covington, Ohio, or Covington, Kentucky, and Cincinnati. Or
really?
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I believe it.
Which I never would have guessed.
Huh. Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
That's cool.
That
that
is
stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Jim, for having us on that show.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Everybody, check it out.
Get to hear Jerry doing confusing accents. All of us doing confusing accents. Yeah.
Apparently that went over well. so far so good. We also want to thank Bad Jokes Are Back. Pete, get ready. catandsean.org/jokes.
Cat.
Sock it to us.
Okay.
All excited. Why did the elephant cross the chicken? How do you...
Oh, this is as somebody who works in public education, this one's a little sad. Why don't more elephants go to college?
No, jeez.
Because they never forget.
They don't know how to, because they're never matrunculated.
Wow. Oh
That
my
was
God.
awesome.
That was really good.
That was much happier than the actual joke answer, which is not many elephants finish high school.
It's still true.
I
Yeah,
would like to. I would also like to say my very good friend Sean German just had a birthday, and happy birthday, Sean! And he
Happy
also
birthday, Sean.
just became the proud owner of a brand new guitar.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
he's taking up the guitar
Nice.
again. which
Oh,
is
that's
awesome.
awesome.
I've also recently done.
You have.
That's fun. Yeah.
Wow. Nice. Happy birthday, Sean.
Yep.
And thanks for making Pete sad with your joke. We also want to thank Brady and Brent from Where the Fun Begins.
True.
Awesome.
Oh, that makes
That's
me
great.
nervous.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I like that.
Yeah. I think
That's
he's
great.
coming on to us.
He's coming on to some country.
We also want to thank Brian and Carson, and Chewy has a barrow in the marketplace. Mala is the singer in a band. We want to thank Christopher and Cubs fan and Curtis and Dan and Darth Patreonus asks, of what movie, TV show, or franchise would you greenlight a reboot or remake?
What if you did a really, really crazy, edgy Happy Days?
God.
Like at it, but it was like dark and like the Fonz had murdered somebody.
You know what? They did that. Not Happy Days, but Amy's been watching some show. Oh, I can't stand it. I think it's called Riverdale. It's like
Riverdale, I was going to say. I've never even seen
Oh,
it.
is that right?
that's-
Yeah, people love it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
they like it. It gets real edgy.
It's like a dark Happy Days?
It's like a dark Archie. I never read Archie, but I always assumed Archie was just Happy Days.
Oh, sure.
right,
sure.
right.
My
Yeah.
gosh, that's
You know what you
crazy.
do? Oh, no, what you do? You do Happy Days, but it is a show about, you do the meta thing. You should do a show about actors in the 80s and 70s making a TV show about the 50s.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
it's all
fun.
like messed up behind the scenes stuff and things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
or
every
you do.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say,
good.
do that. Everybody dies that day.
Right. The batteries go out and the hood lands on their head.
It'd also be fun to do like a remake of Leave It to Beaver, and like every time the camera's off, Beaver's like, "You mother."
Yeah. Oh, I mean, in all seriousness, they're talking about. I think there are 2 different productions of Buck Rogers reboot remakes going on right now. One with George Clooney.
Wow.
Really?
I think that's kind of a cool. That's like kind of an easy concept to keep
that's a
doing
good
over
one.
and
Yeah.
over again. Guy
Yeah.
goes to the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That could be cool. I'm behind that.
Yeah.
I'll greenlight it. No one's asking me to, but I'll do it. We also want to thank Dave and Guy wearing headphones and Doris and Electric Lightsaber Orchestra. Awesome. We also want to that is really good. We want to thank Eric and Fables of Falbus and Febo and Dr. Father David Mowry. Dr.
He might
Father
be a doctor,
David.
father.
Yeah, he
could be.
probably is. Well, if he's a Jesuit, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't they have their PhDs?
Yeah, he teaches too, like at seminary, I think.
Sure.
I think he's hiding his light under a bushel. Displaying his doctor biz.
Next time he's on, we need to say like, "Hey, what's up, doc?" and see how he answers.
Oh, see how he reacts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who do you? I never. We want to thank George Leroy Tire Biter. Pete, I sent you a Fire Sign.
I know. I
Theater
still
album,
haven't
and
watched
I'm sure
it,
you didn't
and
listen to it.
I love how everybody on Facebook absolutely adores it, and I will watch it. I just haven't yet.
It's a listening experience. These were comedy records. And,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't even get far enough to know it was a record. So
See?
awesome.
I'm just curious to see if you'd like it or not. You might
I bet I will.
not even care. You might be like, "What the hell?"
No, I
is
bet I'll.
this?
When's it? What year is it from?
They're from like the late 60s, early 70s, and they kind of did stuff throughout the
I
70s.
bet I'll like it. I was hoping you
it's
were going to
just-
say like the
it's-
30s, but I bet I like it from the 70s.
No, it's like cool and just
No,
kind of
it's not from the
smart and
30s, it's
random
cool.
and- you know, it's cool. You'll like it because it's cool. You like cool stuff, right? Anyway, George Leroy Tire Biter. Thank you. We also want to thank Guy who looks like Ned Beatty and tries to outdrink Marion asks, what would happen if Indy met Jack Ryan and Richard Kimball? Wow. They would all look really stern and shake their waggy fingers at
Wait,
each
who's
other.
Jack Ryan? Is he the Air Force One guy?
He's the Tom
Clancy guy?
The clear and present danger.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I feel like Indy would have nothing to do with them. Like he'd recognize that he ran into a couple of alpha males,
Yeah.
a couple of other top dogs, and he just
He'd be like, Richard Kimball, you killed your wife. Get away from me.
Yeah.
And
I feel like
Jack
he just
Ryan, you're just some fed.
I feel like he'd like though that they're both really smart.
Yeah, and handsome.
Who is he? I mean, who is he really good friends with? We talk about this, and you're like,
Yeah,
Marcus.
he's not.
He's really good friends with Marcus
Mhm.
and Sala. To an
That's
extent.
questionable, but
it's
yeah,
questionable. Yeah, it's questionable. But Sala,
Maybe Katanga.
Katanga,
Oh,
yeah. But you're like, I don't see. Indy is a loner.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that's weird is, so you look at the beginning of Raiders, it's like, oh, he hired all these guys to go with him. And, they kind of double cross him, except for Jock. And you're like, so was Jock part? Like, did he hire Jock? Or is Jock his friend? Like, did Jock
that's
do
weird.
did Jock
I never
do the
thought about that.
lion's
It's like-
share of all the adventuring up until, the Pampas or wherever, the grassland and the
Yeah.
creek and the, you
Is
wonder,
he is he the only guy in every Raiders movie who just does what he says he's going to do and does it?
Yeah,
He doesn't
he's
double
very
cross him.
close.
or
well,
doesn't,
like, is he hired, or is he Indy's friend, or is he in on the take?
I think that we didn't talk about this at all, but I think the fact that Indy is totally surprised that there's a snake in his plane and that Jock has a pet snake, that would suggest that he barely knows him. And
Yeah,
that maybe
that's
he
a good
just hire him
point.
for that job.
Yeah.
Good point.
But did he
Let's do
fly
Raiders
in
again.
with
Let's
the
do
snake?
Raiders again. You guys want to do
Yeah.
Raiders again? Minute by minute?
We'll do Raiders again. We should put that up.
Don't say that.
I mean,
Jerry's views do not reflect those of the Indiana Jones men.
should, well,
Something to think about.
Yeah.
In your darkest moments. We also want to thank Hillary and Indy 5, the 1960s, and the search for the summer of love. Yeah, what if Indy just like dropped out?
Well,
Just,
I mean, he isn't.
Kicked off his shoes and
He could just come back to Marshall College and he'd be ground zero for
yeah,
Summer of Love here in San Francisco.
that's true. Wait, what? No, I mean, fly to San Francisco from I don't know. We all want to thank it's Jonathan!
Hey.
Yay.
Exclamation point or no, it's Jonathan.
He's always got an exclamation point in
Yeah.
our hearts.
That's right.
Permanently.
Yeah.
It's implied.
And I really appreciate he's been posting lots of cat pictures. Drusilla,
Oh,
his
nice.
gorgeous cat. But I am always enjoying the fact that he and Drusilla are looking more and more alike each day.
That happens.
Yep.
Nice. We also want to thank Jasmine. And Jay asks, what's the best acting role by a musician? That's a really good question.
God, that's a great question.
Anyone
I feel
who
like
says Phil
saying,
Collins
do I
will
get to
punch
say
in the
like,
face.
half the people I play with?
They all act like they like me.
Lena Horne,
Lena Horne?
Stormy Weather.
Oh, really? I just remember from
I don't-
Sesame Street.
That's a good question.
That's a good
is a good
question. I don't.
question.
Well, okay, so Harry Belafonte's in a bunch of movies, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
he's in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been
He's
a
in-
while,
yeah,
but
he's-
he's
yeah.
been in a couple movies.
David Bowie's actually was a good actor.
I was going to say
Yeah,
David Bowie.
David
He's
Bowie.
awesome in everything he's in.
Yeah.
He's a special agent. What's his name? Jeffries in Twin Peaks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's good. Gosh.
Yeah, I can't.
Again, there's going to be
Hoagie
some really
Carmichael
obvious
is a pretty
ones.
good actor.
Oh, Hoagie Carter. Yeah, he's very natural and good in Best Years of Our Lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I know there's something really obvious that we're missing.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash was good on his Columbo episode.
Well, the Bacon Brothers.
Wait a minute.
I don't know. Yeah, like Kevin Bacon.
That doesn't count, though.
He's like in a full-on. I mean, the Bacon Brothers, like a full-on band, and
he's an actor first.
He's in Footloose.
Wait,
was Johnny Cash the
band
coyote in that Simpsons episode?
Oh yeah, he is. He's like Bart's spirit animal. Or whatever.
That was good.
That was good.
Like when Homer eats that psychedelic chili.
Yeah. Oh, Tom Waits is a good actor. He's in a lot of Robert Altman stuff.
Yeah.
And Jim Jarmusch stuff.
I just hate Robert Altman stuff.
But stop it! Really? Oh, that's right. We keep having this conversation.
Yeah. Wait,
you know what? Give me back my Fire Sign Theater record. You don't deserve it.
You know, it all comes back to what was that movie? Shortcuts.
Yeah.
I hated that movie so much.
Don't
I'd
let
like
that
it again.
be the one.
Okay.
Have you seen Nashville?
No.
Check out Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last night my parents watched by request. My dad said he wanted to see The Last Picture Show.
Oh,
that's
awesome.
a fantastic movie.
Wow. It is a fantastic movie, and I about 30 minutes goes by. I've seen it before, but I kind of want to watch it. It's been maybe 20 years, and about 30 minutes goes by or so, and I kind of walk into the room and I go like, "Oh, hey, are you digging the movie?" And my dad goes, "Well, there's a lot of kind of sex and stuff in this movie."
Sorry, Dad.
I think he was like, I didn't know it was that type of movie. Like, kind of. I was like, you requested it.
Maybe you should have gotten high first, Dad.
Yeah.
How did he come up with the request? That's an odd, very specific request.
It was so strange that, like, frequently I'll try and find something on Netflix or whatever, just like, I would pay for it. It's free. Here's a documentary on, like, I don't know, McCarthy era or JFK or something, just something that they can, give them applesauce, whatever. And so he said, "Hey, I want to watch The Last Picture Show." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to watch The Last Picture." And I was like, "Well, then we'll rent it."
Maybe he meant that literally, like it wasn't the title of the movie. He's like, what's the most recent movie ever made? I want to keep up on things.
No, they wound up loving it, actually. They thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Yeah.
There was a period
and
in
that's
college
how Jerry
where,
got a new little brother.
Wait, what? Oh, God.
And that's how Jerry...
I don't like that story. No, there was a period in college where every girl I had a crush on, and it happened a lot, I would give them a copy of The Last Picture Show, the book. And I think you did too, Jerry.
I did. It got me real far.
That's real far. It's an odd gift for a...
It was like here's how cool it's like either I'll make you a mixtape or give you this book or both.
Yeah.
As an expression of how otherwise I'll have to
Oh, you gave the book, not the movie.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
book is great. I read the book at your house, Tommy.
Oh, really?
I think you gave me the book. I didn't know at the time.
Or something? Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, seriously, I think you suggested it and I wound up reading it.
Okay.
Now,
I love it. I went through a big Larry McMurtry phase for a while.
Did you guys ever watch HUD?
No, I read that book though. It's
Oh, okay.
It's not called HUD. I forget what it's called. But yeah, no, I never saw the movie.
Those two movies remind me of each other a little bit.
The human underground cannibal dwellers?
Yes. The human underground cannibal dwellers.
No, that's Chud. 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 Oh my God.
Everyone's saying HUD is so horrifying and gross and weird. It's a guy in a Western. He's sitting on a fence.
There's a pretty gross scene, unfortunately, but
really?
It's sad if you love animals. Really
I don't want to hear about it. My son watches nothing these days. All he does, like when he's not doing school stuff, is watches videos on YouTube of there are these like dog rescue places, like from
Oh,
around.
I
Like there's
love
one in
those.
like Hungary and one in like Greece or something. And they'll document like, oh, we found this dog. He's totally malnourished. He'd been kicked or something. You know, like these dogs are in these horrible sit. They're trapped in tar puddles or something.
Mhm.
And then it's like, you know, over the course of like 5 minutes, you see them brought completely back to health.
Yeah, I
And
love
they're
those.
vibrant and happy and wonderful. And like, yeah, that's all he watches.
That's why Sam and I are such good friends.
See? Yeah.
I
you
also
guys
think
get each other.
that's Sam crying out for a puppy there.
Yeah. You know, it made me
Mm.
think. It made me think exactly. You know, if you start looking more and more like your pets, Tommy, could bode well for you.
I could look like some pathetic tar trapped mongrel.
No, maybe you'll stop looking like that.
Oh, okay. Yay.
Clean up a little.
Someday.
Just get a pet that doesn't wear Tevas with socks. You'll be good.
I'm on my way. I know we're forgetting some actors who are also musicians, but we'll get back to that someday. I also want to thank Jeff. We all do. We all want to thank Jeff.
Mhm.
And we want to thank John and Joshua and Exorable Tash. And we want to thank Ken and Lori and Lewis the janitor, who is our newest patron.
Oh,
Hey, welcome,
sweet.
Lewis.
Welcome,
the janitor.
Lewis.
Yeah.
My first job was as a janitor.
Is that true?
Where?
I didn't do that.
It was at a church.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
What was your favorite part of it?
I was actually I really liked that job. Apart from the bathroom cleaning. It was but it was like I think the church had a lot of older people, and it was just kind of never really got that dirty, and it was just like you'd be in there and be quiet, and nice carpet in the pews, everything's.
Those churches
Yeah,
do that. I know what you're talking about.
I kind of feel that it's got that sort of musty smell. It felt like the scene in Raiders where Indy opens the Bible, like working as a
Yeah.
janitor in that place. Because you'd stop for a while and just sit there and it'd be quiet and be like, this is really relaxing. This is really kind of
It's really interesting. I feel like there's two types of churches. There's like one with stones and one with carpet.
Yeah.
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 Like, and they're very different vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like one's like marble and the other is carpet.
But this was an old one. This was like an 1800s church. They just put some carpet in.
Oh, really? A little bit of a
Oh.
hybrid.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes my
Modernizing.
theory.
I feel I'm getting anxious because Lewis the janitor, I can see that his real name from his email address is not Lewis. So I feel like Lewis the janitor is some reference that we're supposed to get. And I'm feeling bad about myself that I don't get it.
Well,
So think about that.
all right.
Curse you, Lewis, for messing me up. Thanks for noting. No,
How do you spell
welcome.
Lewis?
Lewis. Looking good, Lewis.
I'm not seeing anything. I'm seeing Lewis Janitorial Service.
All right.
I
Well,
don't know.
you know what? Maybe it's just Lewis the janitor.
Yeah. Oh, there was a
Welcome.
movie called The Janitor.
Starring
Jeffrey
Lewis.
Lewis is God's janitor.
Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Indiana Jones
1995.
and God's janitor. That's
Yeah,
his pitch
no-
for Indy 5.
That's the only information on IMDb.
Wow.
This might not have been a blockbuster, but it looks fun. Oh no, there's
apologize, Lewis, if we're barking up the wrong tree.
Yep.
It's good
This
to
might
have you
be
with us.
this one. He might have been the voice of God's janitor. That'd be
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Hey, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, we also want to thank Mark. We want to thank Mark meeting you asks Kirk, Spock, McCoy, what role would the three of you assign yourselves for your community theater production of Star Trek? Wow.
Wow.
I think Jerry is, off the top of my head, Jerry is McCoy because he's kind of pissed off all the time
Curmudgeonly,
and like not getting what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, for God's sake.
cantankerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. I'm sitting over here. Well, I'd be Captain Kirk, of course.
I mean, you could, I don't know.
I feel like Tom, you and I would fight over Spock. Like, which one of us could show the least amount of human feeling?
Yeah, you guys don't answer your phone.
Which one is what's the most backwards cut off from humanity?
Don't answer the transmitter.
Yeah.
It's just
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I'll let you be Spock. I don't necessarily want to be. I mean, Kirk's cool. I love Kirk. I don't know. Do you want to be Kirk? I don't know.
Not really. I don't know if I want to be any of those three.
I'll be Sulu.
I'd
I'll be
like
Scotty.
Uhura.
I want to be Scotty. Scotty's the king. Scotty's
Actually,
the
I'd be
absolute
Sulu.
king of the
I love
Enterprise.
Sulu. Might be. I'd be
Yeah.
Sulu or Uhura.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Kirk. And sorry, Mark. We totally disabled your entire question.
You know what? I couldn't be Uhura because she's always got that big thing in her ear, and that would just make me feel
Oh yeah.
like that would make me uncomfortable.
That
That'd
is
be Sulu.
awkward.
Yeah.
All right. Forget it. Forget the whole thing. I'll be Charlie X. That's it. We also want to thank Matt and Matthew and Michael and Mom Teremi and Drew and Natalie and Natsuki Best Doki. And Neil asks, what was your favorite cartoon when you were a kid?
Tom and Jerry, hands down.
Aw, really?
Wow.
Oh, wait, you meant the cartoon.
Oh yeah. I love you guys too, but for me that was like, especially like the space episodes. Like there was, I don't know, everything about, I
wow.
loved everything about that show. I adored it. Which
Wow.
now I know is very racially problematic, and there were lots of
Oh, they
big,
all were
big
back
issues
then,
with
yeah.
it, but-
All the
Yeah.
Warner Brothers stuff was too.
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, that's, Tom and I basically bonded. We sort of commended, like you have a first communion and we were friends kind of like in 1984. But then we
Yeah.
basically, the confirmation of our friendship was
Mhm.
probably around 15, 16, 17, 18, which is Bugs Bunny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bugs Bunny and Daffy
That whole
Duck.
universe. And Daffy Duck, yeah, that
Yeah.
paragon of pep and personality.
Yeah, and we
Would
brought
be.
my sister in. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's like when I realized my sister was actually a real person.
She's
Somebody
kinda cool.
somebody of
Yeah,
value.
there's a spark to her. Yeah.
she loved Daffy Duck. We'd sit there all late night and watch those.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
were pretty fantastic.
They
I keep wanting to
still
show this
are,
to my
yeah.
son. They're all on HBO Max. Not all of them, but like a bunch of them.
Really?
Like, you can find the old ones. Yeah.
Can I
Yeah,
just tell
they're
you one of my
awesome.
favorite things in the world is that I've known Jerry for decades, and he's been one of my very closest friends for decades. And never once did I know that he had a Daffy Duck lisp until he said so on the show.
Oh, yeah. It's true. It's true.
You think you know a person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do a podcast with them and everything, and then you find out they have a Daffy Duck list.
That's true. That's how those lists they sneak up on you.
Maybe able to do this. My friend Jaime wasn't here. Boing,
Oh
boing,
my
boing,
god, that
boing,
one's
boing.
so good.
I know what Niels was.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
what?
Oh, what?
Transformers.
Oh, of course.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. Of course. See, that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking more along those lines of like, I know I was super into like Super Friends and stuff, all those things. All the
Super Friends was
variations
good.
of
Yeah. I always
Yeah.
loved the Wonder Twins. They were always a bucket of water.
that.
Right.
Although I think somebody just called us out. Like was that on this show? We were talking about the Wonder Twins, and somebody's like, no. One of them was always like, I don't know, like a solid, and the other one was always a liquid or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Or like one was always an animal, and the other one.
No,
was
one was always a thing of nature, and the other was an
Oh.
animal. That's what it
Oh.
was. So it'd be a bucket of water or a thing of ice, or I think that's how it was. Like one had to
Okay.
be like, I guess what you'd say, an inanimate object. I guess.
Oh,
Which of course,
okay.
if they become that's animate.
Right? Yeah. How do they will themselves back?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
A
know.
bucket can't think. Even
No.
if it used to be a Wonder Twin.
It's like, are you really a bucket of water? This
Yeah.
is some sort of existential crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of turning into a Wonder Twin for a bucket of water. I'm not convinced.
No, and then the other was an animal. That was usually how it worked.
Oh, okay.
God, I don't remember that at
Yeah.
all.
And I wonder,
Was-
so here's what's crazy. If the one turns into like a whale, then are they
Mhm.
under Aquaman's command?
Oh, maybe.
Or do they
But they
still,
trust
like, can
him.
they
They're on the
operate on
same
their own
team.
volition?
Well, you're not just automatically under Aquaman's thrall. I mean,
Wait a
if
minute.
he
You think
calls
when
you
when
to
he
him,
he summons seahorses, like half of them like, nah, screw that.
no, I'm saying, but
I'm
like,
not doing that.
unless if he calls you, then yeah, you do have to go with all those seahorses and go do it, whatever he wants you to do. But he might not call you, and you can just go about your whale business.
Yeah, but if he calls,
Oh, if he calls, yeah, you must.
Yeah.
I would think. I don't know. But if you're a bucket, but you can still remember that you used to be a
Yeah.
Wonder Twin and you can turn yourself back, maybe you're not whale enough. You're taking the form of a whale. Maybe you're not actually a whale. They're like, form of a bucket of water. Form
that's
of a
true. He
whale.
does. No,
Maybe
they
you
do
have free
say
will.
that form
Yeah.
of. That's
Yeah.
Maybe
true.
they mumble
do.
that to themselves.
Yeah.
I'm a whale, but I don't do everything a whale does.
That's
I need a
true.
hamburger, even though
Was
I'm a
was
whale.
Gleek on that show? Was that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gleek? Was he a later addition? Was he like the
I feel like
scrappy
There
duo?
was all that, like Batmite was on the Batman cartoon and stuff. Like they always added like
They just
strange
had to.
creatures
Yeah,
those
it's like
things.
it's Poochie.
Yeah.
It's basically Poochie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are kids supposed to watch these cartoons if we don't add extra weird random lunatic
Yeah.
creatures?
It's like Superman
Poochie.
checks on his home equity loan.
There.
I mean, it's like, yeah, they wouldn't be fun. They'd be too
Yeah.
adult-like if
Yeah.
we didn't have
Yeah.
Gleek. Ridiculous.
Oh my god.
You know what's great about like Warner Brothers and Tom and Jerry, it was the special effects they would do with just an orchestra. Like,
Oh,
it was
yeah,
incredible.
right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yeah.
Those are pretty awesome.
No, like
Yeah.
it was like mallet. There'd be like a marimba.
Yeah, like a marimba.
A
or-
marimba would be somebody tiptoeing.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what show I loved? I loved The Perils of Penelope Pitstop.
Never
Do you guys even know?
heard of
Have
that.
any idea what I'm
No.
talking about? And then
No.
it was that, and then it was also the what was it called? And it had the song "Stop That Pigeon, Stop That Pigeon, Stop That." You guys
Oh
don't
my
know what I'm
gosh.
talking
No, I
about.
No
kind of know
idea.
that song.
Jim
though.
O'Kane, where are you? I'm gonna look. God damn it, I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
What's the one with the dune buggy that go?
Yeah. That's the one. You don't even need to know the title. You just
Speedy?
identified it.
Speedy,
Wait,
Speedy
I gotta
was
look
his
up
name.
Penelope Pitstop first.
Oh God, I barely remember that. I was a big Harlem Globetrotters fan.
There is a period.
Yeah.
That was a short-lived one, though. That was only
Yeah,
like a
it was
year, I
short-lived.
think.
I was a fan of all those weird, like these weren't originally cartoons and now they're cartoons things.
Yeah.
I loved all those shows.
Yeah.
I got
Wacky Races. Wacky Races is the show I'm
Wacky
talking
Races
about.
is
And that's
great.
Perils of Penelope Pitstop was one of them.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if one was a spin-off of the other, I think. And I think that
Oh,
dog,
okay.
Muttley was that dog who was like always like kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
Were Tom and Jerry on Wacky Races, or did they have their own Wacky Races? Like when they were friends?
Oh, God. I don't know.
That always kind of weirded me out when they were friends.
Oh no, it's
yeah,
totally
in the later
weird.
years,
yeah.
they became buddies and they would solve problems together and stuff.
And they
Wait a
always
minute.
do. That's like when in the later MASH episodes when
Yeah, they're all
Margaret.
pals.
Margaret is friends with BJ.
Hey, Hot
is
Lips.
friends with
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
Will you notarize this thing for me? Thanks. You're the best.
yeah. I was checking my home equity loan.
Yeah.
I watched for a period. I watched G-Force.
Oh, I love G-Force.
I thought G-Force
I've
was
never seen G-Force.
fantastic.
I mean, the name of the show, Jerry, is Battle of the Planets, but we're
Oh, it was? Oh.
Yeah.
So they had a Gleek-like figure in there too, didn't they?
yeah, Giop.
Giop.
Giop was he was one of the team though. Yeah, he was like he was actually a member of the team, but he was a little weird kid who spoke strange. But then they had Seven Zark 7, who was like he looked like R2-D2 with a cape and he sounded like C-3PO. And even as a kid, I was like, I see what's going on here. I know what time it is. I know what side my bread is buttered on. Well done, Battle of the Planets. Thank you, Neil. Thank you for that question that took us way down those rabbit holes. And thank you also to Nicholas. And thank you to not updating my profile since Thanksgiving is no reason for alarm. You're right. You're right, Bert. You're right.
Totally.
We also want to thank None Believable and Orange Bee Cooper and Patrick and Pella and Raiders of the Lost Hatch. And we want to thank Robert and RuneBot Techno Union Rep and Sasha and Scott Roseanne. Hello, Scott.
Hey.
And Sean and Steve and Stina and Sully Baseball. Hey, Sully.
Oh,
And-
condolences to our good buddy Sully.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, Sully lost his dad recently this past
it
week.
was really Send our best, Sully.
Yeah.
For sure.
Speaking of the king, Sully is the king.
Mm-hmm.
We also want to thank Tears for Veers and the Carlyles and the Wilder Ride. And this is important. This means something.
Is that Tierney?
And that is Tierney.
Yeah,
doing
she's doing
her,
a Close Encounters podcast.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want to thank Tim and Timmy Bricks, period. And Trinko has been and always shall be your patron. Gosh, that's nice.
I guess he's Spock.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Trinko is Spock.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Do not grieve. It is logical. We also want to thank Vibrant Visionaries with Heidi Bennett. And when y'all nugless, I scratch my Pete. She's just sitting there on the porch with no shoes on, just like whittling.
You know, it's funny. Like for 20 years, that was Jerry's dream. He always wanted we'd all get a house in Kentucky or something, and we all sit on the porch and whittle and just while away the time.
It's true.
Like sit there in rocking chairs.
What's funny is he always said that to me, and then I found out he would say that to you, and I was like, "Oh, you slut! You filthy backstabbing slut!" I bought a timeshare porch in Kentucky for the two of us.
But there are like 1,000 people out there that have been invited to this porch, this mythical
Tim
porch.
Parnan's waiting for him on a porch. Joe Spaley's waiting for
Tim
him on a
Schnall's
porch.
there. Yeah. Sucks.
That way I never have to have a place to live, pay rent, go from porch to porch.
Oh, is this a cheese plate? Thanks. I'll sit on the porch and enjoy this cheese plate and whittle and scratch my feet. And last but not least, we want to thank Zaction.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you one and all. Thank you so much. And thank you for sticking around and listening to our conversation about Star Wars. I think we're about to get in the Millennium Falcon. This is exciting.
Nice.
It's a piece of junk, but we love it. All of this is straight out of American Graffiti. This is like, this is Bob Falfa with his
With his hot
55
rod.
Chevy.
Yeah.
I made a lot of
Oh, it's
modifications.
100%.
Fastest hunk of junk in the,
Yeah.
Right.
He's
Yeah,
so
you're
much like Bob Falfa. It's cool.
He is. You should have a hat. You should sing Some Enchanted Evening. In fact, speaking of, there's like the moment where the stormtroopers show up and they start blasting them and everything. I always remember now seeing the preview for Star Wars, and this was like, I didn't see it in the theater. It was like years later, but at that moment in the preview, the voiceover guy says, "From the man who brought you American Graffiti." I was like, "Oh, really? Would that be weird for audiences to be like, oh, wait, the guy who did that 50s movie?
Yeah.
It's like doing this crazy space movie? Okay."
He brought it to me.
Yeah,
It's
he
weird
brought
though
it to
that
me.
in a lot of ways it's a very similar movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
definitely.
those are probably the two most similar movies he ever made.
Right?
Well,
It's all just hot rods and
the two best.
frustration.
Yeah.
Well, does Han says, well, we're a little rushed.
Why
So
are they
is it-
rushed?
Is it because he killed Greedo?
I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
Or
we know that, if you don't see that Jabba scene, that could be it. Like, let's please get out of here before Jabba the Hutt finds out I fried Greedo.
It is weird though. Like it doesn't. I'm not sure why they're rushed. To see the
I
stormtroopers,
assume
but they
it's
don't-
because he killed Greedo.
Yeah.
Or he does know that there are Imperial entanglements and that there are troopers looking for him all over the place. Or not looking for him, but looking for Ben and Luke.
Well, but then he
So he
seems
could just be kinda
surprised
antsy.
when they he's like
Yeah.
when they come across the Imperial and cruisers or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a fashion question for you, Jer.
Of course, always for me.
Does Luke have his cloak on backwards?
Wow.
It looks
Poncho
really
thing?
awkward around his neck.
Well, by the time he gets in the Millennium Falcon, he's hung it up.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
And is that like a winter coat? Like what is it? Is it like a?
Is it like, I figure it's something to protect you against like sandstorms.
Yeah.
It's like a poncho. It's like from the Good, the Bad.
You
and the
know what's
Ugly.
It's
really
exactly
interesting?
a poncho.
Yeah.
I think it's just a hole for his
And
head.
you know what's
that's it.
really
Yeah.
interesting? He dons it right before he goes into docking bay 94.
Yeah,
He's
you're
not
right.
wearing it. Then he puts it on because he must know docking bays are a little drafty.
Or he thinks
Either
it makes him
that-
look cool, and he's like, I'm going to show this
Yeah,
guy who's
I
cool.
think that's
Yeah.
what it is. I think you talk about a fashion question. I think he puts it on. And he's like, that feeling when you get like a great jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
And
is
you're
a
like,
genuine
yeah.
Gordon Guttrell cloak.
This is a camel hairs, cashmere, whatever.
Yeah.
Made
Yeah,
of.
he is wearing it for a total of about 30 seconds.
Yeah, he puts it on only, and he wears it only to, tell Han Solo that it's a piece of junk.
Yeah. I don't like your spaceship. Now give me a ride.
And then he
I look awesome.
This
he
never
takes
shows
it
up
off.
in like a toy, does it? Or anything like this never really shows up again, does it?
No, well, wait a minute.
Well, I think like much later, maybe there was like a action figure maybe that had this. Like
Wow,
like in the 90s or something, like,
It could be backwards. I think it's. You know what?
It looks
I think
uncomfortable.
how do you know what the front is?
Well, I think it's
You
symmetrical.
see him briefly.
I
Yeah.
think it's symmetrical, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
guess it
probably
is.
why the Millennium Falcon is a piece of junk to him, because everything
Yeah.
is symmetrical.
Yeah, things are supposed to match side
Yeah.
to side.
It's just
Your
from the
ship
front.
doesn't.
It looks like one of those things that the person puts around you when you're getting your hair cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It looks like he took a tablecloth and cut a hole in the middle.
Right.
Stick his head through.
Should I was gonna say they should cut back to the Aunt Beru wondering where her tablecloth is, but that's not gonna happen, is it? I'm sorry, guys.
Why does Han or first of all, why does Chewie take off all of his clothes when he gets into the Falcon?
Wait, what?
Wait,
It's
on a
funny,
second.
he takes off his bandolier
wanna
belt
see.
before he sits down.
all of his clothes.
Wait,
It's a
I mean, talk about
bandolier
things
belt.
you've never noticed. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Wait a minute. I'm looking. Hang on.
Wait a minute.
He's
Okay,
got a
hang on. I'm gonna
bandolier
watch Star
belt.
Wars for a second.
Like
What?
right when he sits down in the
Wait, are all of his clothes his bandolier belt?
I think so. Yeah, that we know of.
he wants to be a little more comfortable. He's just I'm gonna let it all hang out.
Yeah.
He's going commando.
Like, did he put it on just to greet the company who's coming on the ship? And then he's like, "Oh, that's out of the way."
Modesty.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Pete,
Let's
you're
slip into
right.
something a little more comfortable.
Does he put down his crossbow, or does he put down his bandolier belt, or both?
I think he puts both like on Han's
Oh, yeah,
chair.
he takes it. God, I've
Yeah.
never noticed that in my life.
This
That's
is bandolier
crazy.
belt.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's naked.
yeah.
He's
The big naked Wookiee in this movie.
He
I'm not allowed to
flies-
watch this.
He flies
7 years old.
naked.
Wow, that's flying casual right there.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Oh my God.
You almost wonder, like, did they direct that? We're like, all right,
Yeah.
so you're gonna put down your bandolier on Han's chair.
See, I was
Like
thinking
Peter
it was-
Mayhew was like wearing this giant fur suit, and like the thing that puts it over the top for uncomfortability is like
Yeah.
having to sit down with that bandolier. He's like, I know, I'm drawing the line.
Well, I was wondering if
I'm not
maybe
doing
like
it.
when he tried to sit down with it on, if it like rode up or like on film, it looked really funny, and so they're like, "Oh, you got to
Maybe.
take this off."
Mm,
But it's where they
maybe
show him
that's it.
taking it off,
Yeah,
Yeah, they show him entering the cockpit at all. That's kind of weird.
although no one
Like,
has ever noticed that.
it's kind of great. I
Gosh,
love
that's
that they show him.
crazy.
It's like a nice beat.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Because
Yeah.
and you know what's interesting? It gets really quiet for a second,
Yeah,
and he gets and like I think his head hits the dice. Maybe they kind of and like
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's really quiet, and it
Oh, yeah.
feels exactly like you just entered a vacant airplane.
oh, I love that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or you're in your garage. You're like going to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And you're getting in
Mhm.
the car. You know,
Yeah, it's all
kind of
quiet.
thing.
yeah.
It's all quiet.
I gotta
exactly.
say something. The fact that Chewie takes his thing off before he sits down makes me wish that he didn't wear it as much in the rest of the series.
yeah.
Because it is just a bandolier. Like there's no
Yeah.
reason for him to be wearing it while he's sitting down to pilot a spaceship. And there's also probably not a reason for him to be wearing it most of the time.
yeah,
But he always has it on, doesn't he?
yeah.
Unless I'm just assuming he does. Is he like walking
Yeah,
around
maybe he
Cloud City
doesn't.
without it or something?
No, I think he's got it on in cloud. I don't know,
Gosh, it's like
Well,
the
okay, so hold on.
Mandela
What-
bandolier effect.
because I
Is
thought
it-
about he reminded me of Lumpy for a minute when he took it off.
Ooh.
Because I'm not used to
Stop it,
seeing
man.
like a naked Wookiee.
Oh, come on, dude.
Pete's trying to ruin everything.
Yeah,
What did we do to
come
him?
on.
He's supposed to be our friend.
Hey,
I
like
like the holiday special.
finger painting feces all over our show.
God.
No, what is all right, hold up. So is a bandolier is like a belt that holds bullets, right?
In our world, yeah.
Yes.
As far as I know.
So for
So
him,
they like laser bullets?
yeah, are
it's
they
gear.
laser arrows for his crossbow?
Maybe. Or even if it's just snacks or something, like little gummy packets or something.
It's like a
those
fanny
little
pack.
Goldfish.
Yeah. But it's like definitely not clothes. He's not naked without that. He just doesn't need to have it on.
Well, so hold on. So I'm wondering if he's making the switch from, like, he meets him at Docking Bay 94 and he's like, all right, I still need to have my defenses up, because I got my
Yeah.
crossbow.
Or-
Like, Han just
Or
shot
they're just
Greedo.
gearing up and they gotta
Like, if
Or
he's
it's like
walking
wearing a
have all
around.
this stuff.
What if it's like wearing a tie? It's still the 70s. What if it's like, like take the
Right.
tie off and unbutton the top button of your shirt?
But I think he's
Yeah.
loosening up because he's like, I don't need my weapons anymore because we're leaving.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I'm safe in my
basically
spaceship.
unarming or disarming, whatever.
Yeah. Well, then Han Solo's a jerk to C-3PO right here. Like,
Yeah, for no
well,
reason.
not to his
Yeah.
face, but like, why does he roll his eyes when 3PO says, hello, sir?
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I'm gonna talk to a droid.
Like, yeah, he rolls his eyes and shakes his head.
I don't know.
By the way, not to interrupt, but I had to skip ahead in the movie a little bit just to make sure that I'm not insane. Chewie does have his bandolier on the rest of the movie, as far as I can tell. Like he's walking around the Death Star with his bandolier. So it's not just like me, like, oh, the action figure had the bandolier.
Yeah,
Chewie has
yeah.
a bandolier on. That's part of his.
No, it
thing,
looked weird
that's
when he
what
took it off in this scene. I was like, that
Yeah,
it
Gosh,
really
that's
did look
crazy.
like Lumpy. Like, you don't see him without his bandolier.
we're true fans because we spent like 5 minutes on this.
No.
That shows that we our hearts are in the right place. In case anybody's wondering.
Well, yeah. Then we
But
get
I
the
interrupted a good
stormtroopers.
conversation. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, stormtroopers.
And he says, load your weapons, or laser guns not always loaded.
Yeah, does that just mean like taking the safety off or
yeah,
something? Or
I thought the same
Or do you have
thing.
to like put lasers in the laser gun?
right. Don't burn yourself this time.
Don't.
I don't know.
We get some kind of Cairo like people hanging out in the street too, as they're like
Yeah.
walking down the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah.
bit like those beggars in the street in Cairo from Raiders.
What's
This whole scene
interesting?
looks a lot like Cairo.
It does. With
Yeah,
the one,
yeah.
the guy with the trunk appendage coming off his face,
Yeah.
I guess his nose, whatever.
Mhm.
That whole scene there, when you first see him, God, you guys are gonna hate me for this, but that's a lot like in Crystal Skull when we see Mac and outside the
Oh my god.
when you see Mac outside the where is it? Is it where do they go?
The sanatorium.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Mexico.
Yes.
No, wait.
And it's not
In
Mexico. It's
Peru.
in as
No, wait.
what is it? The Nazca. They fly
Yeah,
to
it's
Nazca,
like
and you
Nazca,
see
yeah.
Mac. And this scene, I swear, you're like, this is Crystal Skull. Is this where
Yeah.
rear?
You know why I'm not
Yeah.
mad at you? Why no one can be mad at you? I think we made that connection in that minute of Crystal Skull.
Oh,
Really?
so we're consistent.
Yeah, I think we said that. Yeah. It was
Huh.
7 years ago, so I don't totally remember, but I like that Mac stars as Gurinden from Star Wars in this.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
I
yeah.
had the exact same thing.
Yep, I have it
Yeah.
on my note.
Aw, I
I
figured
do
you would.
too. For some reason, that guy keeps making me think of Tote. Also,
Sure. Yeah.
he's kind of the
like a
shadowy
creep-
guy in the back, or not
Yeah.
Tote, the Tote guy on the plane on the China Clipper,
Oh, that guy.
Oh,
the not
yeah.
Toad.
the guy that we always
Yeah.
thought was Tote. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Any creepy, beady-eyed guy
yeah,
snooping around,
yeah,
keeping an eye on people. Han Solo does a total, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that's great. And I love how he like when
was
he
pretty great.
fires his pistol.
That
He
seems like
kind of
bad
does it
form.
like as if you're like 8 years old, and he shakes it
Yeah.
with his wrist.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Shooting the floor in front of him.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how does everybody miss him so badly? Like they miss
Yeah,
everything.
Stormtroopers.
I have no
Yeah, I guess
idea.
so.
Yeah, they get the one guy like sets up one of the huge cannons, like the M60 laser,
Yeah.
whatever.
right.
But they're
Yeah.
they're like 8 feet away from the Falcon.
Nah, I know.
They shoot everywhere but
I
it.
know. Where did? Oh, I was gonna say. I guess if we're going with the other, like, where did Jabba go? If you went,
Oh, yeah, how
Gone
did he
for a
leave
while,
without-
I guess.
yeah, because they're hanging out in front of the. I mean, we're smashing two worlds together. It's all right. We don't need.
But in the script, like they insert the Jabba scene right after you see the Docu Bay 94 sign. With
Yeah.
Luke there.
So would Luke
Oh,
run
really?
into Jabba?
I don't. Yeah, like they bump each other on the way in and
Yeah.
out.
That's weird because Chewie's in that scene.
Oh
In the
yeah,
background, isn't he?
yeah, yeah. He
That's
is.
super
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they cut it out. Like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Also, why is Han Solo being so mean to Jabba the Hutt? This doesn't make sense. Cut this out.
Is this the only time in Star Wars we see seatbelts?
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
It's
says-
funny. Like they get in, they put on their seatbelts.
they're big,
Like
gaudy
Ben and-
things too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ben
Space
yawns.
seatbelts.
Does he
Ben
really?
yawns.
It
Weird.
looks like it. Like when he's putting on his seatbelt, he's like, "Oh, so
Oh, so
boring."
good.
Also, these
Boring.
seats, they remind me of Jerry's car. Like I feel like these seats could use a good vacuum.
Definitely. Crackers
You know,
and Dorito
Tommy,
nuggets
you and I, that we've said this line over and over and over and over throughout our lives, no matter what we're doing. Chewie, get us out of here. You know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We could be in a mall bathroom.
Yeah.
We could
Trying to get through the third level of Tron.
yep,
Yeah.
be at a
anything.
CVS. There's all sorts
Yeah.
of places that has been screamed in our lives. One of my favorite lines.
That is
Do,
awesome.
do you think 3PO's been on Tatooine long enough to forget how much he hates space travel?
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, hey, look, he's a killjoy. And someone needs to take him aside and go like, look, no one wants to be in this position, 3PO, okay? You're not
Right.
different than any of us, and you're a droid.
That does
You know what I
totally
mean?
sound like he wants people to ask him why he hates space travel or something.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like he's just
It's like a
trying to
humble
be-
brag.
Exactly.
Oh, I
yeah,
travel so much by space.
yeah. You could just as easily be like, oh, it's only been about a day since I've been in a spaceship. You guys, oh, you've never been to space? Oh, do it all the time. If you take my meaning, sir. Why does Han think that he sees the two Imperial cruisers coming?
Well,
And he
wait,
immediate-
hang on.
Okay.
We get possibly the greatest shot ever in
Yeah,
Star
I
Wars,
agree. I agree.
which is the Millennium Falcon flying away from the planet and two or
Yeah.
three stormtroopers looking on. And
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the greatest
It's
shots.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's this Falcon is in sunlight, and most of the stormtroopers in the foreground are in shadow, and like a
Yeah.
little bit of the backgrounds in sunlight, and it's
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, wow.
Yeah.
And there's such a feeling of they escaped. And then
Yeah.
you're just like, I want to escape.
Right.
You know, I want to
Yeah.
escape. I just
Yeah.
they're literally in the great blue yonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those stormtroopers there on the ground cannot get to them.
No.
They've escaped. They made
And
it.
and Chewie, get us out of here worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chewie.
Yeah.
You got us out of there.
Is there a door in Docking Bay 94 for spaceships, or does it just have to take off straight up?
Well, Pete, if you watch the special edition, you'll see that they
Oh.
totally mucked up this favorite shot of Jerry's. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
a big
I don't
open air
remember this.
thing. Like you just land down into it or something.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
Mm, you don't need to.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Goodness.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it
so
makes
you know,
sense.
if
but,
there, is there like an air control tower, or is it just whoever wants
Yeah.
to go can go whenever they want?
yeah, I think they just go.
Yeah, I think they just go too. I think that's why.
I think that was one of the directives of I don't know if it was to like the special effects people, or just like the kind of sense of the story. But George Lucas is like, yeah, people just get in their ships and they go, like it's no big deal. Like it's like having a car. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, Han sees these Star Destroyers, and that's these guys must be hotter than I thought. But like he already knew that, like, Ben was like, hey, we don't want any Imperial entanglements. There's stormtroopers all over Mos Eisley looking for us, Unless it's like, oh yeah, they had a lot of troops on the ground, but oh my God, they also sent 2 Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
Wow. These guys
it's
are in
also
a lot of trouble.
A nice reprise of the shot from the holiday special.
Oh, come on.
That's right. You're right, Pete. It's really nice.
So wait a minute. If the Death Star can blow up a planet, and then this little ship is a Star Destroyer?
Maybe they just renamed them after they made the Death Star so that they'd feel cooler again. Like they used to be the biggest things in the Imperial fleet, and now they're just like these kind of dinky things. So they just renamed themselves the Star Destroyers.
I mean,
that's a good point, though. Yeah, the Death Star can only blow up a planet.
Yeah.
I don't think a Star Destroyer can destroy a star. I'm just going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm good.
I think that was the other thing, though. I had those cards, those Wonder Bread cards, and one of them was the Star Destroyer, and I had to think, oh wow, that thing destroys stars. That's cool,
right?
And that guy Luke, he can fly because he's a Skywalker. That's cool.
Awesome. Wasn't that the thing in the new movie in J.J. Abrams' first movie where the new the new weapon could destroy an entire star?
No, it like sucked. See, this is what I'm saying. The Death Star, you can't beat the Death Star. It's a big ball the size of a moon, and it blows up planets. The end. Yeah, like the Star Killer, like the thing that would suck up like the power of a sun, and then would have a sun inside it, and then would shoot it at a planet. No, it shoots at 2 or 3 planets at once. That's why it's super cool. Shut up. Shut up. Hate Star Wars.
What is the benefit of having the cockpit on the far right of the Millennium Falcon?
I don't know. It just makes it weird.
It's
cool that it's weird.
In the original Ralph McQuarrie thing, I think it was right in the middle, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
It was like a rectangular ship, and the cockpit was right in the front.
Yeah. And I think wasn't the Tanta V4, wasn't that supposedly the Falcon originally?
I think it was, yeah.
Or something a lot like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it on this side though.
Well, so what does it do? I guess what I mean is when you look at every other ship, it's symmetrical. Now you see the Millennium Falcon and you're like, that's really weird. And God, that would be so imagine that you're driving this thing, flying it, and you're like, you can do whatever you want to the right. There's nothing to your right.
Right.
But there's all this, real estate to the left.
Yeah.
And
that's a great point.
Yeah, just imagine like how you would maneuver thinking.
Yeah.
It's almost like the whole left side of your body feels heavy while the right side, like I almost wonder, would it be better to fly vertically so that imagine if and they do it in Empire Strikes Back on some escape maneuvers, when they go through the asteroid and and they lose a couple stormtroopers, they kind of turn vertically and you're like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they're flying that way so that the cockpit like can be on top or on the bottom, and you're like, for some reason that would make more sense. But then I guess it's like, but because it's in space, there is no up and down, or left or
right. What I mean. I think the asymmetry of the ship and the fact that like there's no steering wheel in the cockpit, and like the up and down of like the 2 guns on the top and the bottom. We'll get there in a few months or something.
Yeah.
But like all of that stuff, none of it makes sense, and it's all kind of off-putting, and it all adds up to the Falcon and Han Solo and Chewie being really cool. And like, I don't get how this works, but they obviously know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it obviously works. And like the far left side of the ship isn't bashed to hell and scraped and the paint's all gone. So they obviously know what they're doing. It's not a problem for them. It just works out awesome.
The side view mirror's all jacked up.
You're right. Joey.
No, I think you nailed it.
the ideal design for a spaceship seems like it'd be like the classic flying saucer, where it's like you have a clear glass dome on top where you can see 360 degrees.
Yeah.
Or like Kodos and whatever his name in The Simpsons.
Right. Yeah. Kang and Kodos.
So then we get Luke in some of the, like, unfortunately,
Luke being Luke.
Yeah, this is some of the, I would say this is some of the worst writing in this movie, Star Wars. Not that I don't like the scene is fantastic, but Luke is, he's, what's that flashing? Like, dude, what are you doing? I love that.
And he points at it. He's like a little kid. What's that flashing?
It's just like, what is going on?
It's annoying, but it kind of it's nice that it's there. Like it makes sense. Like he's off the planet for the first time in his life. This is, he is a kind of a pilot. This is probably the first time in a spaceship, an actual bona fide spaceship.
But that's just, he's off the planet for the first time in his life. He's like, I thought you said this thing was fast.
You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He totally is. Oh my god. My dad says you don't try that much.
The hell I don't.
The other end of the floor. No, that's incredible. My gosh. Like, all of Han's answers are really clunky and awkward, and they're too long.
They're very long.
Long.
This is written for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, doesn't he should be concentrating on what he's doing instead of coming up with these soliloquies about space travel.
And he actually says one of the least Star Wars things I've ever heard. He says, or bounce too close to a supernova.
Yeah, bouncing is, I don't know. Bounce in space.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a supernova in Star Wars? Bounce too close to a supernova? Like, what the hell was that? It's a cool line. I don't know.
Well, what's the story with deflector shields? Like, you can angle a deflector shield. Like, if there's something that will deflect lasers, why wouldn't you make a suit out of it?
I think it's judging from the X-Wing fighter simulator that I played instead of going to class in college, it's like a magnetic shield sort of thing. And on the X-Wing, you could have them all front, or you could have them all back, or you could have them all around, depending on your situation. And so, I guess he's losing some of his shields in the back because they're getting shot too much.
And they're controlled by magnets?
Or it's like it's like a field. It's like some kind of energy field created by magnets. Yeah.
I
don't know.
I wondered, can anyone buy a Navicomputer?
Or is that like
is a
radar detector in some states?
Yeah, I just wondered. Like, he says
it's like GPS. It's like, I feel like it's like a kind of standard space travel thing that you need.
See, that's what I'm wondering. Like, is it like, a MacBook Pro or something? Can you just go buy a Navicomputer? Or is that the thing? Is that one of the adjustments he made? Oh yeah, personally? The modification. Yeah, the modification. And that's what he calls it. Like, no one else has a Navicomputer.
Oh.
And he's like, if we don't get the coordinates from the Navicomputer.
Well, I mean, if you need it to not kill yourself going into hyperspace, then I would think it'd be kind of standard on any vessel thus equipped,
That's what's so frustrating.
Like, you buy the Falcon, you're like, what do you mean it doesn't have a Navicomputer? I'm not buying this. I'm going to get myself killed.
Well, so, okay, I guess I have maybe an answer to some of these hyperspace questions. So you get the coordinates from the Navicomputer. Mm-hmm. You go into hyperspace, and he goes 0.5 past whatever light speed, and you're like, okay, but wait, everybody can go the speed of light or hyperspace. Mm-hmm. And then I think, so is the evasive tactic or evasive maneuver what coordinates the Navicomputer gives you? So, like, if you rocket out at hyperspace and you have a specific coordinates, and you're like, pew, and you're gone, then you just like, well, we can go into hyperspace in that general direction to chase them, but we don't know
Yeah.
what their navicomputer coordinates are, so we're never going to
Right.
find them because
Mhm.
space is so vast. Like, even if we're off by one point, one navicomputer point, we're going to be, light years apart.
Yeah, that seems to be the like in Empire Strikes Back. They get away, and that's it. Like the Falcon goes into hyperspace right when Darth Vader doesn't want it to, and once they
Yeah.
do that, he's like, "Oh, that's it. I can't."
Yeah.
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 He's not like after them. He's like, "Ah, damn it,
Yeah.
damn it, they got away."
But then there
the
is a
navicomputer
cloaking
work?
device, I remember. But does the cloaking device work if you go into hyperspace? Or is it out of range?
I don't think you need it if you go into hyperspace. I don't think. I think, yeah, like you said, like if you're in hyperspace, you can't be followed, or people won't know where you are.
Oh, no, of course you're right. But they do, like, you can't, I guess you can't follow someone into hyperspace is what I'm asking. I guess you can't.
Right.
Because you don't know.
But unless Darth Vader put a homing beacon on
That's
your
what I
ship,
meant.
how does that work?
So if he puts a homing beacon on your ship, it's only when you're kind of strolling about?
I guess.
But
But
when
that
you
would
think
mean
about
that the Death
how
Star
long-
was like already really close to Yavin. Oh, we'll get there. That's weird.
But like
That's
when you
weird.
think about how long it takes to get a signal, like from even like a Mars probe, like how would you have to wait several years to find out where the homing beacon was?
Yeah.
And then it'd be like they'd be 20 years older.
Maybe George Lucas was like struggling with all these questions. And he's like, I know, it's space fantasy. Now I don't have to answer any of these questions. Now I can get on with my story.
0.5 past parsecs.
Yeah, there we go. Well, everything's solved.
Well, I'm about to watch Jerry's heart break live on a podcast, but
Oh, nice.
is
Wait,
the
let me get my popcorn.
navicomputer
Hang on.
what Lando fell in love with in Solo?
Oh, see, now you're breaking my heart. I was deliberately not going to bring that up.
I couldn't remember, but Jerry brought up the navicomputer. Was it?
Oh,
I don't want to talk about it. I actually don't want to talk about it. No, the Millennium Falcon is a spaceship. It's got a computer like any good spaceship would, and the computer tells you where to go and how to safely travel from one place to another. The end. Good Lord. The things Lando did to that ship.
I
What
do love the line, traveling through hyperspace ain't like dusting crops, boy.
Yeah. Like he's like I assume that Luke doesn't literally dust crops because there's nothing but dust and there's no crops.
No crops.
But I like the idea of like Han Solo being he's traveled around, he's been to other places that have like more, farms like that would need crops being dusted, and you just kind of farmer, whatever. Farmer. Okay, you're a moisture farmer, whatever. Dusting crops.
Yeah.
Who cares? You're a farmer. Just like applying that to any farmer.
that's unbelievably earthling of him.
It is
Yeah.
barfling, burling, the earth barfing.
Did it sound like that? Oh, I didn't check. I didn't check my navicomputer before I said that. You know what? That felt really weird, but I was like, I don't know if it came out that way. I may have
Maybe
snuck
it's just
it by.
Oh my God. Everything's okay. Oh man. And they get away. And there's that awesome simple effect of them just like bursting away, and then space just sort of tilts.
I love that.
Yeah.
Kind of like spins a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what just happened?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's weird?
Hmm.
They came up and they buckled themselves in around the chessboard. And then not 20 seconds later, they're all up in Han's grill in the cockpit.
That's a good point.
And then he's like, "Get the hell out of here! Go fasten your, strap yourselves in." It's really weird.
That
Why
is
do
really
they?
weird.
Why do they
Why did
bother
they-
with that scene?
Yeah. Like even if that was supposed to come after he tells them to go buckle in, like, why even show them? That's weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know
really
what?
Weird. I never thought of
Do you
that.
think that that buckle in scene is supposed to be after he says
after
go straight?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I'm
maybe.
thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I guess like in the rush to get off of Tatooine and stuff, and you see them all run on board and everything, maybe it makes sense, like kind of in a mood sort of sense, the energy of the scene to see everybody getting sat down and buckling up to blast away and stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know. That is
yeah,
a little weird.
And then it's like they sit there for like, I don't know, 90 seconds, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on up in the cockpit?"
Let's go bug him.
Yeah.
He's probably not busy. What am I gonna do? Stare at 3PO? Hear his sad sex stories about flying in space?
If I'm Obi-Wan, I want to go up there because, like, if I know a lot about space travel, I might feel better.
Yeah, he's been around the block.
So when was the last time Obi-Wan was in space?
We'll find out in his new TV show. Makes me
Really?
nervous.
Is there there's gonna be one?
Oh yeah, you guys don't read the papers.
No, is this that Disney thing? There's like a big Disney.
Yeah.
So what is it?
It's all we know is it's Ewan McGregor. And
Really?
you're gonna think I'm kidding, but Hayden Christensen will be in it as Darth Vader.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
See, that's what you get for trying to break our hearts.
Yeah. You want to talk about
Back at
Lando
you.
having
Like, am I
sex with the
broken
computer
on
now?
live on podcast?
Yeah. Put that in your Navicomputer, you pervert.
Yeah, it's like showing you a Medusa head. Wow, that's really interesting. Well, I mean, The Mandalorian, which I haven't seen, but it seems to be a smashing success. So they're probably they're riding this and saying, let's do this well, and we'll make billions and billions and billions. Right now, Star Wars is making money. That's incredible.
Right.
The Mandalorian's killing it.
Yeah, we haven't broken it yet, so let's just keep going.